What's up, y'all? It's me, Tasha C. And this particular video, y'all, I'm reviewing on a Saturday night, also known as I Ain't Got Shit to Do. Marriage Boot Camp Reality Stars, Season 5, Episode 4. Okay, the new one won't be here till July 8th, so we got 2 more weeks. I'm a little bit late. Whatever. Good enough as is. Shout out to my YouTube fam, and hugs and love. Let's get into this. I'm definitely going to pull on the highlights, but especially I want to start reviewing this season because just on the Toya Misfits alone, and then we had Tara, y'all remember her, American Pie, all this other stuff, whatever. I remember those days. Also because of those two couples, well, just there with Tara and, you know, her man is Dean. You got Cody Michelle, they were on some bachelor show, whatever. Lisa's from, I think, America. That's something top model. She got a husband named Adam. Y'all been following. He like one of them prepare for doomsday dudes. British. If y'all used to see my basketball LA reviews, was not too nice about her first because of the attitude, but she seemed to be somewhat toned down now. But yeah, those two too. And who is the lab? You got Michelle, you got Cody, you got Adam. Am I missing anybody else? Cody, Michelle, Adam and Lisa, British and Louis. Okay. Tori maybe said it's usually 5 couples. It will pop up to me right then and there who the hell is the other couple, because I could have sworn I am forgetting somebody. Or if they don't stand out, maybe because their problems are not as severe, okay? But yeah. Now, Cody and Michelle have gotten the marriage camp divorce. Basically, it's a thing where they're still going to be doing all the activities the remaining amount of the camp season, but they kind of are working on themselves. And, you know, that's something besides like outside this house that we have to, you know, some people have to deal with, you know, where they be couples, or you see a lot. I like to personally use the term, I say myself, yo-yo, yo-yo relations back and forth, where that's kind of like Tara and Dean's situation is. And sometimes you see just back and forth, people go back for sometimes for several years or forever ever, and keep going back and forth just because, well, we've been together since 10 years ago, or since we played jumping jacks. I learned how to hula hoop and hopscotch, you know, or just go back and forth just because this, you know, for whatever various reasons. And, you know, I could understand one at a time to breaking up, and 2 maximum, really, personally me. But I'm just saying is sometimes we do all this yo-yo stuff. But people do need to take time out when they, you know, at least to heal and think about it's going back to that person, or taking time out to heal and then work on, you know, working in a new relationship with you, because, you know, you do need time to just know yourself, so you know, if you know yourself, then you know how to be in a relationship, you know what I'm saying, or know what, you know, that's a whole nother story, but you know what I mean. Find yourself first. If you can love yourself, you can love someone else. Get it? Got it? Good. Okay. Now, like I said, we're talking about this divorce and everything, but like I said, I'm not going to go through everything. I know I'm not the person who usually write notes. But the highlight I really want to talk about is this Memphis, where I seen the first clip around of this episode. Shout out Bonnie Blue, but that's honestly what I've seen it for. Memphis going off on Toya and all this other shit. And it kind of displays like where we've been thinking about the controversy of all of this with K. Michelle and so forth. About it kind of proves, besides him even, I think, admitting that, you know, some of that stuff actually was done later on. Wasn't that also confirmed on his part, you know, that it wasn't just him being the victim. Now, he already has issues of saying like he's been blackballed, and, you know, you're blackballed, and kind of makes it seem like Toya's supposed to be more responsible for why this stuff has happened to him. But it's kind of like, look at here, sir. Really, truthfully, his behavior, we have seen himself. It's not something that is Photoshop or nobody cares or give a damn about doing that. He's been the one been butt ass naked and everything else, and been doing this behavior where he's taking guns because somebody took his weed bag and shit at the car wash and everything else. He's been doing a lot of behavior by itself. He was trying to, you know, even down to what was Mistress Court Inc. or whatever, which ironically, remember Sarah That's how, before she got Bad Girls Club, whatever, and became on this show, the last season that I stopped, because of family, reasons and, personal reasons, I didn't have time to review it anymore. She was on the Mistresses Inc. I know I'm going off there, but I'm just saying this. I remember she was talking about why would she want to, have sex basically with a black vagina and it's not pink and stuff and just that's disgusting, blah blah blah. And then she was showing she getting ass shots and the darn thing. I'm just saying he was supposed to be part of Mistress, so just talk about, sometimes 6 degrees separation and all that stuff. But yeah. So it's like they're just talking and having this conversation. Like I said, they had this one exercise because I'm not going to think. But what stood out was, Tara Dean in the their little confessional box, and they're talking about how Toya knows how to twerk, and she was showing Tara, and then she was explaining because Memphis also supposedly says that Toya is not good in bed, and we also had like I said, and I think it was last episode, and we also had noticed that he's basically like this here. About her. Now, even if she said she did all the stuff, the porn star, because she was trying to show Tara how to twerk, and then she was all pretending like with Lisa, like, you know what, if I even was like, come here, bitch, they weren't like visually kissing her, just like this, hugs, whatever, right? And it's basically here where he's even gave us a preview of the fuckery he was going to give us later on that night. And he's just like, I'm going to do what I want to, whatever. Man, if I can't get what I want, I'm going to get it out there. And then here goes Lorenzo. Lorenzo should have, no, Lorenzo, just sit there and just walk past by and say, you know what, do they have a basketball court outside? That's what he should have done. Because what happened was, then he going to talk, but he going to talk in riddles. This is which I was saying it's dark outside, but I didn't mean it was nighttime. You get it? I knew it was dark and I said it was moon outside, but I didn't say it was night. And it's like, what do you mean? So it's dark outside, right? Huh? That's what Lorenzo was carrying in that moment. Because British, 2 I's or 2 T's, whatever, 2 something letters in her name. She, which I can understand, was like, so what the hell are you trying to say? Because he basically like this. Lorenzo trying to say, I think that's the child's name, Mr. L, was trying to say, like, as long as he coming home, then why it doesn't matter if he's talking to girl. But that's what I'm saying is, he should have just left it around in the air. But she asked her, so what are you trying to say? Because you take care of home, blah, 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 she's blah, 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 blah. Does that mean that you got the right to basically, stick your dick into other holes? Okay? Dirt bags? Okay? What the hell's going on here? And he like, huh? So she got so mad, she like, fuck this about to throw stuff. She was even about to throw the freaking Simply Lemonade. Now, that's bad, about to throw some delicious juice and throw somebody. I don't know, I forgot what she threw it or not, but she was going to throw the bottle head. Hopefully, thank goodness at least it was plastic, so if it would have bounced off his head, at least he would have got a concussion from probably breaking over his head if it was glass, and maybe she might have gotten in trouble, maybe arrested, maybe charged with assault, maybe had to sign some papers, get a bond out, So, but he just like, huh? I'm cool. It's cool. She like, cool. And he just kind of walks away. They both, I think, all the men go outside and walk away. Yeah, but yeah, I think I seen all the couples. Yeah, I did. But anyways, y'all. Did y'all notice, if y'all watched this episode already or planning to, couple times Tara and Dean are kind of almost like, well, the negative energy, we have to stay away, whoa. And Tara's I don't know, I can't take this anymore. And I'm thinking like, you've been only 2 out of 3 days, or 2 out of 4 days, whatever, and they had to track your ass down, almost take you off the show because she was too busy doing another scene on her show, okay? Dean had to go in his custom tailor suit to go get her, okay? So, anyways, another scene, okay, we're talking about arguments. So the next, actual activity was them, not kind of showing how the other person looks when doing an argument. And there is such thing as healthy arguing, which is true. Like, you're not always going to get along with everything, you know what I'm saying? But in the same time, you shouldn't have to argue every 5 seconds or every 5 days. You get what I'm saying? But it shouldn't have to be where it's all about who's going to win who, right? It's all about compromise, even when you say have to go as far as being an argument. But this is to show how the other person looks. Now, you got British and Lorenzo. And British at first, she was intimidating her man, and then it changed to She's throwing pillows at him because she went back to British instead of playing the role at the other person. And, of course, British played well because British, like I said, blah, 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 okay? She read it, okay? And then, that's, show, like, how did you feel when this happened? Now, interesting enough with Lisa and Adam, here's Lisa able to show, like, you don't do this, you don't put gas in the car, you don't charge the phone, you don't have anything past 70%, okay? You make sure you always have such and such in the car, this and that. You make sure you turn the wheels to the right when you park the car, okay? You reverse. It was just that. And here's Adam was the only one out of all the couples, the people in this activity who could not even say anything. Because I think it was Dr. Elizabeth that was saying, can you actually, do you have empathy, or you kind of like don't have a certain, I think she would say something about a certain connection. And he admitted it was both. Because you could tell, like, to a certain point, he didn't know what to say. It was kind of like what we all sometimes I say, a Scooby-Doo moment. And he just like, arr, so he really couldn't say anything. British was able to imitate Lisa, how she is, better than her own husband. Or I'm probably the only one that thought that, because I'm just like, wow, that is sad. They only been there for a couple days. There's only like, ain't this like something that's like for only a couple weeks, and then they stretch it out every day per week when they have these episodes? That is sad. That is something they really need to work on, okay? But like I said, he had Cody and of course Michelle. And Cody does have some of the issues also, like he's very, like, the way he does with conflict is like, and he sometimes cries. And Michelle's like, I can't take this. I don't love you anymore. Listen, this, blah, 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 this and this. It's just like, but we do know, like I said, Cody, I think they, like I said, they got the divorce because of the result of him. She told him not to say that secret. Like I said, people have been watching about not only she cheated on her ex-husband when she was still married at the time. And that was something that wasn't supposed to be brought up with. So this is where you got trust issues. It seems like you have also a lot of issues where, I don't know, it seems like with appearances or how people are perceiving the world. And you got, I'm so into myself, but I don't think about myself to a certain point. I'm just thinking about the outside, not inside, which seems to be where Cody kind of like is. He has to focus more on working on his emotions, and to a certain point, but instead of worrying about if his six-pack looks, if the line is perfect right here. I mean, he has a nice body, of course, but I'm just saying is that, you got to work here, in here. So, like I said, so you got like Memphis and Toya, they win as well. And like I said, I think they, like I said, the doctors, Dr. Jim and Liz, but they already had noticed, like, I hope I got the doctor's names right. I could have sworn it was Dr. Jim and Liz. And they already had noticed, like I said, some problems with like the Miz and Toya thing and the British, because they said like this one thing argued, but they don't have to be violent. So they go to the next activity for the night, right? And it's basically a tug of war. And they said a simple thing is to make sure y'all able, stand over here, don't lose y'all stance, basically, right? Don't go into the water. And of course we observe, here's Tara Dean. Tara's like, oh, forget it, because Dean even pulls the rope, to me personally, like they're about to he it's perfect, like get ready, because it was just like he wasn't even trying. Tara's just like, forget it. So because she wants to avoid conflict, because they're comparing and contrasting how they do these activities are always connection about how they do the how they are as people and people in this relationship that's pretty much in the conflict. And so she gave up. Lisa is like, she doing this. She's on the ground pulls Adam right into the pool. Toya, Memphis was just loving seeing Toya squirm and holding her to the edge. To the edge of the pool. I mean, to the edge where the pool was her side. And then, there she go. Hair wet. And Brittany, okay, like I said, Cody and Michelle. Cody ends up just kind of like doing Tara does. He was just like, forgive. He at least tried to do a little tug of war, and then just went into the pool. And then you got, like I said, with British and Lorenzo. I think, was it Adam or Dean, was it Dean the one who pushed? I could have sworn Dean, I don't think Adam was already getting out the pool or something like that. I could have sworn Dean helped push, or Lorenzo push, no, this is Lorenzo, what am I talking about? I could have sworn Dean helped push Lorenzo into the pool, so she cheated. Even though she doesn't like being cheated on, even though Judge Tiller, am I saying her name right? Tyler Tiller, you know, Judge T, you know, Mrs. Divorce Court Judge, and you know, he still doesn't want to come clean. He, like I said, he'll tell you it's dark outside, this moon, you said, so it's nighttime, you know, so, you know, they reflected after that. Now, here's another scene, like I said, I'm really not going to go into anything, y'all, but it's definitely a red flag. Oh, by the way, before I forget, you notice how, like, the void and conflict thing, Tara and Dean seemed to get, everybody seemed like they noticed, like, the effects of, but, you know, Tara was just like this. She was imitating Dean, like, you know, shut the fuck up, let's get a shot of tequila, okay? Oh, what are you talking about? And I could have sworn Dean was like, oh, you're busy, blah, 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 you know, imitating, Tara in this. Excuse me, y'all. It's different, like I said, the last time I really seen Tara films, no offense, is when after American Pie, and when she used to go, what's his name, used to be on the host of TRL, MTV back in the day, whatever, then you hear the little controversy, so it's kind of interesting seeing her in this light now, but, okay. I guess, was she in reality show 2 previous 4? I don't know. Y'all can tell me in the comments if y'all feel like a comment, but I forgot. But here's the scene that kind of was really a warning sign, okay? Like I said, it's probably going to be the last thing I talk about, because that right there made it seem like, if you're doing this now on camera, what the hell is you doing behind the cameras? And I think Toya is in the process about to be divorcing this man, or just finished divorcing the man. But I could see why. Because, like Toya said, I think, you know, also in this episode, I didn't ask you to marry me. You asked to marry me. It feels like saying, like, they somewhat marry her or want to be with her because, and this is just my theory, y'all. This is what I'm thinking, my perception. Because this is Lil Wayne's, you know, ex-wife and his first child's mother. I don't feel like using the word baby mama on her. That because of his career already was kind of not where it was at the time being, or starting to unravel, because even when they got married, that K. Michelle stuff just had popped up. And because the way he keeps talking about he wants to live his life like he wants to, blah, blah, blah. Well, be singer, Negro, ninja, gosh, it's like, really, like, if you, the way he's talking is if they are not together, and she's been sitting here checking him as if he had told her or put in her head, lied to her that they were exclusive, or I belong to you, you don't leave, or at least, you know, he tell her exclusive, but she really is the main female, you know, something like that. But he's not. It's not even that. No, like, this is your wife. Now, unless there's some sister wife situation going on that nobody knows about, then that's probably at least what Toya said. Besides making that comment you shouldn't have made about the hallway pass, or a smash pass that she gave him for like 1 or 4 days that should have never been said, even if it was a joke. He, you know, like I said, they're talking on the table again. I think they were just having a conversation about the whole thing again, about knowing the signs of what does he want and stuff. And here again, like I said, the previews everywhere on social media and stuff again, where he started to tell you should know what I want. I compromise for you. You know how he's making it seem like he stopped everything for her, and now he blackball and everything else and stuff like that. Stuff here. You should know what I want, blah, blah, know my feelings. And she like, what do you want? I don't know what you want. To just tell me. You know, like, communication is such needed in any way, your friendship or relationship, because some people don't only call relationships as like romantic stuff, right? But you know what I'm saying? Like, just communicate with people, period. That language, okay? Even if it's sign language. You get what I'm saying, y'all. I'm just saying that he started to spaz out. Just like earlier, he gonna knock down oh, sorry, y'all. Some margarita, you know, some bottle of beer, and knock it, tell him to clean up. And then, you know, something that was near her that he knocked over, but he is in the process of, you know what? You know, like, basically, I want to live my life. Fuck this house, blah, 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 blah. You don't know this and that. I want to live my own life, blah, blah. So it's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? You know, basically, like, one of those things, like, he basically spazzing out on her. And I did notice, which was kind of scary, it's like, even though they're watching where they're going to intervene just in case if he did like do this to her or something, because it did make it seem like this is just did not happen out of nowhere about how many years that they knew each other / they've been together as a couple / have been together couple / being married. Okay, so it was like he left, and then we talked about him, and then it was just like Larissa go ask, well, what's it like this ever she got married to change, and he just like making it seem like as if Latoya as in fault for him just spazzing out on her, and he, we just like, what the hell? And he all trying to cry, I think, outside sort of me like, I didn't mean to do this. You see the tear and stuff, he behind his hat, whatever. He tried, I think Jim and Elizabeth tried to have him apologize, and Toya was like, I don't want to hear about it. I ain't got time for that bullshit. You can keep it over there, which is understandable. But it just made it seem like the way he spazzed, talking about he wants to live his life and nobody gonna tell me what to do, girl, this and that. Like he kind of gave us a preview like earlier that day. And it just goes to show you like this man didn't just come up with these issues out of nowhere. Okay, it's just things eventually over time. You are already, if somebody is a danger area or something, that's troubling, or negative anyway, it's eventually going to come up one way or the other, come out. And you be thinking like that is fair. I know, but just pins like outside looking as far as us and their relationships in the public eye. This behavior we've been seeing recently on and off the last year and a half or so, or a little bit more than that, it's came up. It can only hide so long. So it was basically like, I don't know if Toya said whether this happened before or not. Then you have Judge Tyler coming in and basically reflecting on this couple needs to work on this couple is like Lisa, like I said, working with Adam as far as like, the excuses she was talking about. Well, I can't get no gas because I have a baby. Miss Dollar, like, I had 2 kids, okay? Something like that. But just reflecting on again, like, British man needs to tell the truth. Memphis needs to work on himself, and Cody and Michelle got their own issues, blah, blah. Just reflecting until the next episode. But like I said, it really kind of was alarming about seeing, like I said, he knocked up something down and left and walked away again. But it was worse than it was the last time. And I'm surprised that it was nobody. Maybe just like, as long, I guess they were going by his body language enough where they can see from that angle, like the people that were there, that he was not going to throw hands on her. But it makes it seem like, I don't think this just happened one time. Like I said, he tried apologizing when they were upstairs, when they went night-night. She on one bed, he's on the other bed, trying to apologize. She's just like, yeah, but she kind of just left him alone because he's just like, I'm sorry. But who's know how many times he has said, I'm sorry. And if he hasn't been like a person's put hands on, because put hands on him before, it makes a question like that. Just because he hasn't done it every day, he is possibly a physical abusing person. But it's just like, if he was like that with somebody as calm as Toya, okay, Michelle is like this tall and will get on on the top of the ladder and cuss you out. So it just seems like this anger just didn't come out of nowhere. And it might have came before it came and shit. Like this person, like I said, he's spiraling out of control. I can't go like what, because I can't do an analysis of what I see. Snippet per 15 minutes, but we can tell that something's really wrong. Now that's what I really wanted to talk about. Was like, if y'all notice, like I said, there's some signs. Like I said, we don't know Cody and Michelle get back together. Adam has seem like issues with the world to a certain point. It's about safety measures with them. Tara and Dean, I don't know, Tara, they there. And British Lorenzo, he's like I said, he gonna roll the skate around that question again, I guess. Okay, so we'll see in the next episode, y'all. Sorry about the same, but if you like what y'all see, you want to be part of my YouTube fam, just go ahead and subscribe. But anyway, hugs and love, y'all. I'll see y'all in the next episode. I think I might actually review BET Awards. Let's see, because we are they gonna do Prince justice? We'll see. But anyway, y'all have a good night.